welcome to the first episode of our brand new show called the Intel GPU Challenge, powered by ITQ. So in this challenge, what we're going to do is bring a guest, let the guest drive in our F1 sim, which is fully powered by VMware Horizon and accelerated through Intel's new GPU called the Flex 170 GPU. So let's bring it! So we're here with a guest. It's none other than Frank Dinneman. Frank, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Awesome experience.
Is it? It is, right?
Yeah, it looks really nice. Looks like I'm on Top Gear.
Yeah, well, we won't actually say it's based on Top Gear, but it's based on Top Gear.
Okay.
No, but so the reason why we have you here on the show is because obviously it's the Intel GPU Challenge. So we talk about GPUs, but also you have a thing for racing, right?
Yep.
So let's dive into you first. So could you briefly introduce yourself and explain our audience who you are, what you do?
Yeah, so my name is Frank Dinneman. I am what's called a chief technologist. I'm one of the 7 chief technologists of VMware, and my focus is machine learning, is on machine learning.
Which involves GPUs as well, I guess?
Yeah, primarily. So we are trying to build, we are building what's called VMware Private AI Foundation. And that allows customers to run generative AI workloads and machine learning workloads within their private data center. And so we're using accelerated ESXi hosts. And when I say accelerated, I mean there's a GPU inside of it, one or multiple GPUs. And we're using all types of technology to ensure that the GPU usage is done as efficiently and as securely as possible.
If people want to see one of the things that you've been busy on in the last couple of months, that's known as the reference architecture, right?
Yeah, so one of the teams is responsible for reference architecture. I'm more responsible for the delivery by the company ourselves. So what I mean by that is customers can now go to GitHub and download the reference architecture, download some of the repos that allows the customers to quickly start and already deploy. I'm primarily focused on enhancing the VCF experience and creating new products and new functionality within the VCF stack.
Awesome. And one of the things that stood out from VMware Explore in Barcelona was that Intel has joined the Private AI Foundation as well. What can you explain about that?
Yeah, so we're really thrilled that Intel is joining us, and we worked with them for 2 or 3 years on Project Catalina, which we announced at Barcelona. And that is pretty much the same experience what you see with other foundations that we've already built. And so we're focusing on the One API suite from Intel. We'll start with the CPU and with their AMX functionality that allows us to really run inference workloads fast and secure and as efficiently as possible. And then later on, we'll introduce the GPUs from Intel as well within that stack.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Now, let's switch gears a little bit, and gears, the pun is actually intended, because let's talk about something else that you are really passionate about, which is sim racing.
Yeah.
So what can you? I saw pictures of your sim rig, and I actually played in the previous version of your sim rig, which is extremely impressive.
Thank you. Thank you.
Could you explain a little bit about that passion, what you did, what you have, and you know?
Yeah. Well, if I'm not working, I try to build sim rigs and race in it. Now, primarily I build them because it's a never-ending story. My first version was focused on GT. So primarily driving on the Nürburgring in a GT-like car. So my sim rig was set up in a GT setup, ride-up seat, and with all the bells and whistles for a GT car. So I have motion, I have VR glasses. You can use sounds to actually produce vibrations. So when you hit a curb, you actually feel it in your seat. But recently I decided, let's switch it up and let's design a Formula One inspired rig. So with the right seating position, with all the right steering wheels and all that stuff, to actually drive along with the drivers. So when Spa, for example, is on the Formula One calendar, I'll drive the week before, I'll drive it. So during training, you can actually see, okay, that's how they take that corner, or that's what they do. And so you're more, it's more engaged that way. Unfortunately, I've been so busy with the VMware Private AI Foundation stuff that I haven't touched my rig in like 9 months or 7 months, something like that. So this is going to be a challenge for me.
Yeah, so that's a great segue into the next item. So Frank will actually drive a couple of laps on Spa-Francorchamps. So it's going to be 3 laps, and the fastest of those 3 laps will be your time on the board. So I'm looking forward to that.
I'm excited.
So what does the challenge entail? Frank will drive 3 laps on Spa-Francorchamps in an F1 car, in the McLaren car. And Frank doesn't know what lap times he will be driving. Those will be blurred in the game. So the game is running inside a virtual desktop, running VMware Horizon, and it's fully powered by Intel's Flex 170 GPU. So I'm really excited. Let's see how Frank is doing. Okay, Frank, you got 3 laps to show your best. Go get it.
I'll try driving without my glasses. So it's going to be fun.
Good luck.
Cool, thanks.
And the green second sector. And a purple third sector. Wow, that was really something. So, Frank, how did it go?
It went okay. It took me a while to get used to it, but eventually I thought I was okay.
So, what was the hardest part?
Different rig,
right.
different feeling in the steering. It's not aligned, and I haven't raced in a long time.
Right.
So, but those are all excuses. So
right. So, although this is the first episode, we actually had a couple of colleagues, including myself, drive a lap already. So the fastest time, I said the fastest time was 1:51, 1:16.
Yeah.
So, what do you feel? How did you do?
I think I could do better. So I think I was last.
Right. Okay. Well, let's take a look at your time. What do you think? Below 2 minutes?
Yeah, below 2 minutes.
Okay.
1:54.
1:54. Well, 1:50 was indeed correct.
Okay.
But it was 50 rounds, so
Nice.
150 and 0.75. So you actually had the top time.
Nice.
Congrats, man!
Thank you.
And that for very first episode. So
Yeah.
I think you did really well. And maybe at the end of the season, if you end up very first place, then you'll win the Intel GPU Challenge.
Nice. Well, I think a lot of people will beat my time, but it was an awesome experience. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being a guest on the Intel GPU Challenge. Thank you so much for watching. If you really enjoyed this video, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and we hope to see you next time in the Intel GPU Challenge.